So the hadith regarding the Prophet ﷺ saying, when should the parents order or teach the child how to pray salah in Rana?
When they're 7.
When they're 7 years old.
Oh.
And it's not the mosque teacher's responsibility, by the way. It's the parents' responsibility to teach the child how to pray salah. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, when they reach a certain age, the parents should actually discipline them. Anyone know what age that is?
10
years old. And I was reading the other day, it's Tahtawi al-Maraqi, one of the classical scholars of the past. He's saying it's wajib upon the parents, not just something for the good to do. If you can, it's good. It's wajib, just how we have wajib acts in deen, isn't it? Witr is wajib, this is wajib, this is wajib. To discipline the child if the child refuses to obey Allah is wajib upon the parents. So that's the first thing. So the parents should be extreme if once a child reaches the age of 10 and is constantly missing Fajr Salah, for example, or other acts of worship. So it's actually the parents are supposed to discipline the child and reprimand them, be harsh with the child, so the child understands that it's how important it is to worship Allah. But now let's say if a parent, they haven't done that. Let's say they haven't encouraged the children to pray salah, or they haven't encouraged the children to go to the masjid. And when the child's older, let's say when they reach 15, 16, now they can do things by themselves, and the child just start praying, go to the masjid, start praying salah, started reading Quran, and the parents, they haven't encouraged them at all. Will the parents will not get the rewards of the child? No, the child praying salah, reading Quran.
Because he did it himself.
Yeah, because the child did it himself. But if the parents nurtured the child in that way, the parents, they taught the children, okay, you should, you taught the importance of salah, importance of fasting, importance of reading Quran, and then the children done it as well, then the parents will get, every time the child does a good deed, the parents will get that same good deed as well. But if the parents haven't done that, they won't automatically just get the rewards. So they have to have facilitated for the child in order to, pray the salah and read the Quran, be pious and religious. Like in the Quran, so sometimes Allah says in the Quran that your children are your enemies. Why do you think Allah says that? Your children. The verse of the Quran, إِنَّمَا أَمْوَالُكُمْ وَأَوْلَادُكُمْ فِتْنَةٌ, that your wealth and your children are a test, and another one, they are an enemy for you. And one of them is a test for you. The reason is, many parents, what they do is, out of love for the child, they tell the child to disobey Allah. And now it was wajib upon them to make the child worship Allah, isn't it? Yeah? But out of love for the child, what the parents do sometimes is they tell the child to disobey Allah. Okay, don't pray salah, or don't pray extra salah, it's a bit too late now. Don't wake up for Fajr, you're going to be tired in school. So that's what Allah is referring to, that your children become your enemies, because your children are a means of you going to be punished by Allah because of them, out of that love that you have for them. So this is why when the child reaches the age of 10, then they should be made to learn to worship Allah and go through difficulty for the sake of Allah. And that's what the Sahaba radiallahu anhum, they do with their children. They teach them how to go through difficulty for the sake of Allah. They teach them how to fast. They teach them. Some Sahaba would even take them on when battles would take place. Sahaba would take their children with them.
Oh.
And what they do, they put their children on the sideline so they can watch their fathers how they fight for the sake of Allah. They'd be far away on the sideline, just to teach them bravery and going through difficulty for the sake of Allah. Because when you go through difficulty, that's when you learn to love something. When you start to care for something. Let's say if someone gave you £10 and you wouldn't care for it as much, just go spend it wherever. But now, if you have to work an hour for that £10 and go through a lot of difficulty, you're going to care for that £10 a lot more than that person just got it for free. Anything you get for free, you don't really care. If you think about the things that you have, the things that you've got for free, the things that you got for free without trying, you don't care about it as much. You don't look after it as much. But those things which you earned yourself, where you had to, earn that money and then buy it, you care about those things a lot more. Likewise, if the children aren't taught to strive for deen, sacrifice for deen, for Islam, for Allah, and if they're not taught to go through difficulty and struggles for Allah, let's say Taraweeh Salah, if the child isn't sent to the masjid, to worship Allah the whole night, an hour, when the feet get tired, when the knees get tired, when extremely hot. If the child isn't made to do that, then growing up, the child doesn't feel that relationship with Allah because he's never been made to go through any sacrifice for Allah. So, but if the children do go through that in a young age, then that love for Islam grows inside them. Okay, this is my religion, this is my Allah. I've gone through so much difficulty for him. I've fasted for him. Starting from the age of 10, the children should start fasting. And just like Salah, the children should start praying from the age of 10. Likewise, fasting as well. They should start praying, start fasting from the age of 10. So many children, 16 years old, and they say that the parents don't let them fast because they've got exams. Yeah, so the parents are going to be punished for telling their children to disobey Allah, and the children will also be punished because they're not children anymore, they're adults technically. When you reach 14, 15, you're adults. Then the children will be punished for listening to the parents, telling them to disobey Allah. So as soon as the child reaches 10, that's when we should start fasting and learning how to go through difficulty for the sake of Allah. Then if it becomes too difficult for them, let's say in school, they're getting dehydrated and they can't keep that fast because, the body's getting weak, then it's permitted for them to break it. Islam isn't so strict. Then if they can't keep it, it's too hard for them, they're getting dehydrated, the bodies become weak, they're allowed to break it. Allah gives them permission to break it. But they have to try and fast. Especially when they reach the age of 10, 11, 12. I have so many students telling me, okay, I can't fast because my parents won't let me. I want to fast, but my parents won't let me. And they're fully able to fast as well. As long as the fasting won't harm them, then they'll get extra rewards for fasting despite it being so difficult. But if it's going to be harmful for their health, then they should break the fast and not fast. So that's why as parents, parents shouldn't only think about the worldly benefits of the children. Okay, he's going to be tired in school, so he can't pray Fajr Salah, or he can't go to the masjid, or something might happen. So you shouldn't always think about the worldly benefits of the child. You should think about the benefits in the hereafter. Like if I don't send the child to the masjid, what's going to happen to him in the hereafter? This is what we need to think about. If the child doesn't have a habit of praying Isha Salah, what's going to happen when he leaves this world? So that's what we call caring for a child. Because we shouldn't care about his school life and be ready to throw him in and then be ready to destroy his life in the hereafter. Does that make sense? Yeah. Because if we don't worship Allah, what's going to happen to our life when we die? Is our life going to be good?
No.
No, it's not going to be good, isn't it? So if our parents are telling us not to worship Allah, then they're actually destroying our hereafter. And it's not caring. It's not caring, it's the opposite of caring. That's why Allah poses a question to all of us, and I'm going to finish with this. So Allah says in the Quran, أَرَضِيتُم بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا مِنَ الْآخِرَةِ فَمَا مَتَاعُ الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا فِي الْآخِرَةِ إِلَّا قَلِيلٌ. That have you become content with the life of this world in exchange for the hereafter? So Allah is saying, have you started preferring this world and have forgotten about the hereafter? You don't care about that anymore. It's all about now. Okay, how can you get the best grade in school? How you can go to school on time? How you can do this? How you can do that? How you can do that? In terms of the hereafter, in Jannah, Jahannam, okay, forget that. We'll worry about that later. My child's doing his GCSEs. He needs to worry about GCSEs now. He can think about fasting when he's older. He can think about praying Salah when he's older, when he's got time. Now it's all about GCSEs. It's all about his school. So this is what Allah is saying, أَرَضِيتُم بِالْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا. Have you completely forgotten about the hereafter and have you become completely content with this life? Now your life is just about, now. How you can get good GCSEs, a good job, good house, good car, live a good life, and think about the hereafter later. Has the hereafter become so small that you don't need to worry about it anymore? Now it's all about your just worldly life. Yes.
Parents say don't fast because you're Jesus and you might get dehydrated, so you can bring your energy for your brain.
If the parents tell you not to obey Allah, then in that case you should respectfully to your parents, but the command of Allah is this. Allah has commanded me to fast, and because I'm old enough, I'm baligh, I'm mature, now it's my responsibility to fast and I have to obey Allah. And you tell them extremely respectfully, because obviously they're doing it to look out for you, isn't it? Mm-hmm. But you have to make them understand that Allah has given me this responsibility and I have to listen to them. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Any questions?
No.
Mm-hmm. Shall we stop?
Yeah.